Independent passengers wishing to go ashore must remember to carry the following with them: passport, immigration card, visa, or independent tour ticket. When you and your complete party are ready to go ashore, please proceed to Michelangelo Dining Room located on Plaza Deck, deck number 5 midship, where you will be organized into groups. Once that there is availability at immigration booths, the crew staff will direct you to disembarkation area. Passengers will be seated in order as they come into their room. Ladies and gentlemen, whatever your plans are for today, we hope you enjoy an excellent day and your stay in St. Petersburg.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you today?
Good.
Are you enjoying your cruise?
Yes.
Beautiful. Well, let me welcome you in St. Petersburg, Russia. We are going to have 2 exciting days in this beautiful city. We're going to show you everything, all the hidden gems and all the famous museums. You're going to see and have it all. I think that you already know that. And let me introduce myself. My name is Genia, and I'm going to be your guide for today, for tonight, and for tomorrow. So you're going to get rid of me only tomorrow in the afternoon. Well, that I believe you don't have any idea where we're heading to right now. No? Нет. Нет will be the right response in Russian. N-E-T, very easy, just to begin speaking Russian. N-E-T, нет, means no in Russian.
Yes.
All right, well, right now we are heading to Peterhof. I'm sure that you've heard about this beautiful former summer residence of the Russian Imperial family, which is situated at the coast of the Gulf of Finland. And you actually passed it on the way to St. Petersburg, but I think that was a little bit too early anyway. So we're going to have a closer look. It is situated 25 miles outside St. Petersburg to the southwest. That's where we're heading right now, and the way there will take us around an hour, probably 50 minutes, and that is one of the reasons we're starting early, which is basically to beat the traffic. Well, in Peterhof, first we're going to see the Grand Palace of Peterhof, which is one of the most beautiful, but well, we do have some places which rival the Grand Palace of Peterhof, and every time you think that we showed you the most impressive thing, we have something else to show you. Well, we're starting with Peterhof, first seeing the Grand Palace, then we're going to see the grounds of the park, which is decorated with 174 fountains, which don't have any pumps. It's all gravity, which drives water. And at 11 a.m. there is a grand opening of the fountains. It takes place every day, accompanied by the music, which is the anthem of St. Petersburg. We're going to be there to see the grand opening, and shortly after the grand opening we'll be leaving back to St. Petersburg. The river, this is the first shipyard of the country, because St. Petersburg was the first seaport in the country, and we're approaching the Annunciation Bridge. This is the first permanent bridge across the river, which was opened at the end of the 18th century, and we're going to use that one to cross the river. When we get onto the bridge, look to your left. On your left hand side you'll see the city center with the buildings of the Hermitage, some gilded spires in the distance. So that's the things we're going to see when getting back from the suburbs, when getting back from Peterhof.
And we don't need our passports with us?
Oh, you need your passports all the time. We're in Russia. We need our passports. Here you go, please. Just to go through passport control, you need a passport, right?
Okay.
Yes, please.
These are good. We don't have to write anything. Get that?
All right, so on our left-hand side, the buildings in the distance, kind of at the corner of the next bridge, these are the buildings of the Hermitage Museum. A huge gilded dome on our left-hand side, which is sticking out from behind the buildings. This is St. Isaac's Cathedral. We're visiting in the afternoon. And if you keep looking to your left, There is a long gilded spire against the sky, sticking from behind the buildings from the bank which we're living right now. This is the birthplace of St. Petersburg, Peter and Paul Fortress, and we're going to visit that one tomorrow. It has grown since that time. Well, here it is on our left-hand side, bright green with a chariot and glory on top. And on the other side of the arch, the yellow building with beautiful green dome. This is one of the metro stations. Those are marked with blue letter M. And underground transportation system appeared in St. Petersburg in 1955. We'll have a monument, a Soviet time monument. That one is to Sergei Kirov. And Sergei Kirov was the first secretary of the Communist Party here in this city. By that time they changed the name of the city already, and you sure know that name. That was Leningrad. St. Petersburg is actually very famous for changing its name several times. The original name is St. Petersburg. St. Peter is a patron saint of the city. In 1917 the revolution happened, and in 1924 the leader of the revolution, Vladimir Lenin, died. And they decided to rename this city the cradle of three revolutions. That's how we had it in the history books before the Soviet Union collapsed. So the cradle of three revolutions, St. Petersburg, was renamed Leningrad. And that was the Soviet time name of the city. 1905 is the date when it was consecrated. It's going to be on our left-hand side right now. Very colorful. And now let me draw your attention. This is the Grand Palace of Peterhof we're visiting.
Don't go inside the palace. If you want to buy food, you're welcome. $20 for 5 cents. Each one they'll open up and get delivered. Maybe
You got to turn it around.
I'm not going to sit here and I'm waiting for these things. It's crazy.
And shortly after the grand opening, we'll be leaving back to St. Petersburg, and then we're going to have another quite important thing, that is lunch. We're going to have lunch in one of the first Russian cuisine restaurants, which actually opened in St. Petersburg after the Soviet Union fell apart, which was in 1991, and that one is called Troyka. I'm sure that you've heard the word Troyka, meaning 3 horses pulling a sled. In the winter, well, in winter, St. Petersburg is not really very popular. We still wondering why. It's just minus 20 Fahrenheit, and you can always get a fur hat or a fur coat somewhere, or just put on more layers and just have a couple of shots of vodka. Well, but anyway, St. Petersburg is... In St. Petersburg, this area is Dostoevsky area in St. Petersburg. If a novel by Dostoevsky is set in St. Petersburg, like Crime and Punishment, it will be this area of St. Petersburg. His apartment was not very far from the Cathedral of St. Vladimir, as...
No, it isn't.
Oh, is it? Oh, thank you. It's very good.
Look around. Most of the buildings on your both hand sides date back to the end or the middle of the 19th century. Most of these used to be tenant houses, and that's where people not native to St. Petersburg would settle, rent a flat in the 19th century when arriving into the city. Historical city center of St. Petersburg. Here it is, the Fountain River. We're going to sail the Fountain River tomorrow. In a distance on our left hand side, a glittering dome, very unusual but very characteristic of the Russian Orthodox cathedrals. It's blue with golden stars painted on top of the dome. Well, St. Isaac's Cathedral these days is not an active cathedral. It was closed after the Revolution of 1917. And basically the Bolsheviks didn't allow any religion. They banned officially the religion in the country. And we are going to visit two most beautiful and famous cathedrals of St. Petersburg. This is St. Isaac's Cathedral, the fourth highest in the world after St. Peter's in Rome, St. Paul's in London, and St. Mary's in Florence. And if you happen to visit all three of those, St. Isaac's in St. Petersburg is the fourth one. It can accommodate 14,000 people standing, and I really hope that there won't be those 14,000 people inside. Why standing? It's not allowed to sit in the Russian Orthodox Church. That's why standing. And the cathedral actually looks a lot more impressive inside than it looks like outside, because outside is just a massive structure with a huge gilded dome. But when you get inside, it is 16 different kinds of marble, 150 paintings, 150 gilded statues, and lots of semi-precious stones. Beautiful. Well, that was St. Isaac's Cathedral. Very beautiful, one of the most impressive. But, as always, we've got something else to show you, and that is the Church on the Spillblad. 75,000 square feet of mosaics inside, decorated with enameled domes and gilded domes on the outside. The Church on the Spillblad is a postcard image of St. Petersburg. Here it is. This is the Church on the Spillblad on our right hand side. One of the most popular places to take your pictures at. Popular places.
Georges, je veux une photo.
Mais maman, là-bas il y a une femme qui prend aussi de l'argent tout normal.
I hope you're enjoying yourselves.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day here in St. Petersburg. Oh, great to hear that. On our left-hand side, a fountain and portland scaffoldings, building of the Admiralty. These days it is a naval military school, but originally the shipyards used to be situated on this very spot. And the bridge itself is a drawbridge, as all 21 bridges across the Neva. Those are opened every night to let the ship pass from the Gulf of Finland. On our left-hand side, to Ladoga Lake. 50 miles up the river on our right hand side and the other way around. And from this bridge there is a beautiful view onto the left. Two red columns in the building in the middle, the former stock exchange. This is the first harbor of St. Petersburg because, well, according to the statistics, St. Petersburg has got 45 to 65 sunny days a year. Just to give you an idea how lucky we are. Well, the ship on our right-hand side is a replica of the 18th century ship. This one is a restaurant. So the procedure getting back on board the ship, when going through the immigration, you'll need your passport. That's it. Well, on our left-hand side, quite an impressive square with a statue to Vladimir Lenin. Lots of fountains. These days, that's the place where the younger generation would hang out and rollerblade and skateboard and things like that. And quite an impressive building in the background with hammer and sickle, the building of Soviets. There was a plan to put up a city hall in that building, but by the time it was constructed at the end of the 1930s, we love it, but quite new for the city. And this is the memorial I was talking about, the huge granite ring and the broken ring of the siege of Leningrad, which lasted for 900 days. And on the other side of the monument there will be two figures at the bottom of the stela. That's a worker and a soldier, symbolizing those who fought outside the city trying to break the siege, and those who stayed in the city and worked at the factories and plants supporting the front with the military munition. Their impressive monument was opened in 1947 and constructed with lots of volunteers participating only in 12 months in 1 year. Well, here's Pulkovo Highway, or what we call a highway. Some great examples of Russian driving in front of the original. And go to the Imperial reception at the Catherine's Palace, which I'm sure is going to be one of the highlights of your trip, because the Catherine's Palace is going to be opened only for us, exclusively in the evening. Then we'll go into the palace. Inside the palace, we're going to see the golden suite of rooms designed by Rastrelli and the famous Amber Room, the so-called eighth wonder of the world, fully restored only in the year 2003. So it's been around for, what's that, 8 years now. And after that, in the grand hall of the Catherine's Palace, we're going to have a champagne reception.
Well, dear ladies and gentlemen, in a few moments we're going to begin the Imperial reception at the Catherine's Palace. Was it worth the trip?
wasn't yours. I don't know how to turn mine off, so.
First, we're going to visit the room which is private quarters, and those are fully dedicated to the history of the Roman family, and then will be dedicated to the golden sword of the Gilded Rose. Well, we are going to make a little move and return to this room on the other side. And this is the picture gallery, and you already know everything about this room because we saw the similar design in the Grand Peterhof Palace. Take us your pattern to show off the wealth and the prominence of the Russian Imperial family. What is that, 200 years ago? Next room is dedicated to Alexander I as well. On our left-hand side there will be a portrait of Alexander I, and then well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that at this point you can give the tours of this palace yourself. You probably can guess who was the empress to redecorate this room in the classical style. That was 1770s, and that was Catherine the Great. This is the marine dining room with the Imperial porcelain factory of St. Petersburg, designing the porcelain set of the use. These are gilded jewelries repeating each other endlessly, and we get this effect even without a mirror. Well, each room was designed pretty much in the same style, although all the ornamentations were separately created by Australia, and they never repeat each other. That was his reputation, to make them all different. With all this gold, all this opulence, they seem to be the same. This room is called the drawing room of Alexander I. Here's his portrait one more time. For some reason, he loved this room very much. Probably because this one had a different decorating wall. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you remember this room. We've been to it already, but on the other side. And in a few moments, we'll get to the room, which is basically one of the reasons we took a trip over to the Catherine's Palace. Next door, we've got the famous Emma room. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Emma room. On a regular basis, it's not allowed to take any pictures here at all. Tonight, they make an exception, but they kindly ask if you can switch off the flash. Could you please do that? Rather than that, go ahead, take your phones and pictures over here. These are the panels from the floor to the ceiling, although there is a little trick in here. The original palace of Peter the Great was a little bit smaller. Originally, this one was designed for the King of Prussia, Frederick I. That's why the lower part will have a one-headed eagle, not the double-headed eagle. That's the coat of arms of Prussia, present early. And then you'll see the letters FR, that's Frederick, that is the moment of the first initial owner. But when Peter the Great visited Prussia, he loved the Emma room so much that he got it as a diplomatic gift. And it was decorating his winter palace and then was moved over to the Catherine's Palace. What makes the historians actually believe that the original amber room still exists. The thing is that there are two original things in this room which were found in Germany and returned to the palace at the end of the 1990s. Only on special occasions to host dinners for cavaliers of 4 major Russian orders, 3 for military men and 1 for civilians. The most important and the most honorable order of the Russian Empire was the Order of St. Andrew the First Hall. And that one had a blue ribbon and a star richly decorated with diamonds. Tomorrow in the gold room, I'm going to show you how it looked like. And this is the porcelain section. Well, one detail on the upper landing of the staircase I just have to draw your attention to because that's one of my favorite things in the palace and one of the cutest things. There is a tiny statue of the Cupid here.
Her Majesty is happy to welcome you here on Russia's land, open to peace and friendship.
Мы поднимаем этот бокал за дружбу между нашими народами.
Her Majesty would like to propose a toast to friendship between our countries. The assembly in Tsarskoye Selo to be continued with dancing.
you've enjoyed the Imperial reception.
Thanks for spending all the money to put that on.
Yeah, 3 rubles left only. Next thing is dinner. Dinner! Just for our conveniences, to save us some time, we're having our 21st century carriage taking us to the restaurant. Well, this one is more efficient, more spacious, and does have springs.
Yes.
Unlike most of the carriages you've just seen in the Carriage Museum. We're basically returning to the palace.
In the restaurant which is called the Tsar's Present, where we're having dinner, and after dinner we'll be heading back home. So we're going to be back at around 11:30, I guess. So we'll witness the White Nights, or what we've got left of the White Nights right now. I'm sure that you've heard about this period in summer when the sun sets only for a couple of hours and then it rises again. That's what we have in St. Petersburg throughout June and July, but right now it's just the beginning of August, so it's going to be pretty light till about 11 p.m. and then it's going to get dark and we're going to see the buildings in the city center of St. Petersburg beautifully lit up. So that would be kind of a cherry on top of today's cake.
That is how St. Petersburg looks in the nighttime. And the sparkling one is the TV tower. On our right hand side, well, similar to the Eiffel Tower, but a little bit different. So to your left, all the bridges are lit up. On your right hand side, Peterhof Fortress is lit up. And look a little bit behind to the banquet living, the buildings of the Hermitage on our right. That's the city I love. Well, Yuri is excellent. That's true. Well, let us thank Yuri for bringing us back, like, in a second. I can hear some Trish Shotkas on the bus. Alright, as we are the first ones, I think that you'll have to wake up the immigration. I think they're kind of snoozing in the booth. Well, good night. Have a good rest.
Tomorrow we're going to do everything else.
On the left-hand side, the yellow arch I was talking about. And here we go. This is our main perspective street, Prospect. A pink palace on our right-hand side is called the Stroganoff Palace, and this is one of the oldest buildings along Nevsky Prospect. The story has it that famous beef stroganoff was invented in this very palace by its owner, Count Stroganoff. I'm going to tell you the story a little bit later, because right now we've got a lot of things to look at. First of all, quick look to your right. The main Russian Orthodox active cathedral of the city. And to your left, please, the House of Books. And we've been there. The church on the spilled blood down the canal. Keep looking to your left, in the gap in between the buildings there will be yellow and white church. This is the Church of St. Catherine, Catholic one. And here we're stopping for a few seconds. As we start moving, keep looking to your left. This building, which has the inscription Grand Hotel Europe, yellow building on our left-hand side, is another 5-star hotel, which was built together with Astoria. Look down the street, it takes the length of the street. This is the facade of the hotel. And on our right-hand side, yellow and white building with arches. This is the oldest department store in St. Petersburg, which was opened in 1785, so it's 226 years old. Keep looking to your right. You'll see how long the building is. This one takes half of the street. Keep looking to your right now. It is 1 mile in perimeter and 2 floors, so it was 2 miles of shopping. On our right hand side, the monument to Catherine the Great is on our left hand side behind the trees right now, and the name of the garden is Catherine's Garden. Yellow and white building on our left, very impressive. This is the Alexander's Theater, one of the first drama theaters in the country. These days it is used as a stage for opera and ballet performances, but only in summer, when Mariinsky or Kirov Theater is closed, and when the season is open in September, it is a drama theater, what it was meant to be. And the Fountain River. Here it is. The Tower Bridge on our right-hand side, one of the oldest in the city, dates back to the 18th century. Nevsky Prospect is so exciting that it never hurt to drive twice along it, right? So, We're driving on the opposite side. It will give us a little bit different perspective on the buildings and will give me an opportunity to point out those buildings we didn't have time to look at. Well, right now we'll have a perfect view onto the Alexander's Theatre and the monument of Catherine the Great in the middle of the Catherine's Garden. It's on our left-hand side. So if you'd like to take a picture, the best way will be from over here as soon as we start moving. Just be ready. Here's the picture chance for the theatre and the monument of Catherine the Great. And once again, I'm never tired of looking at this massive department store. Look to your left again. Now you know that this department store is 1 mile in perimeter. There is a blue letter M on the facade, one of the metro stations. The entrance to the metro station is situated in this building, and 2 floors. Well, these days these are kind of a separate boutique stores inside. Well, look to your right, please, down the street. Yellow and white building in a few moments. There it is. This is the building of the Russian Museum. The Hermitage Museum, they've got everything but the Russian art, because all Russian art is in the Russian Museum. 350,000 paintings. One more time to your right if you would like to see the Church on the Spielblatt, and to your left if you'd like to take a picture of the Kazansky Cathedral, the biggest active Russian Orthodox cathedral in this city. The river is curving a little bit. Look to your left right now. Curving down, the dome of St. Isaac's Cathedral down there.
Right now, just look to your right. This is the main street. See a perspective. That's what the word prospect means. A straight and wide road with a perspective. And our so-called wow square, this is the Palace Square, the main square of the city. On our right-hand side, yellow and white building, a semicircular one, is the former headquarters of the Russian army. The column in the middle, solid piece of red granite, 600 tons, stands without any support, just by its own weight. So when it was just put up, people were afraid to cross the square. They were afraid to be killed by the fallen column. But well, nothing happened so far.
Well, one more time, remember the Palace Square, the main square of St. Petersburg. It's going to be on our left-hand side in a few moments. Here it is with the Alexander's column in the middle. That's where the new Year's Eve celebrations would take place. The victory parade, the main one sure takes place at the Red Square in Moscow, but there is a parade every year on the Palace Square as well.
Yeah, our driver Alexander treats us to the stop at the Palace Square.
So famous for its low skyline, its granite embankment, beautiful bridges, and beautiful palaces.
Are those all private residences?
All of the buildings along the embankment used to be the palaces of either wealthy aristocrats or the members of the Romanov family, because this is the very heart of St. Petersburg. On our left-hand side, two red columns are the former line houses. This is the first harbour of St. Petersburg. And we are right now driving along the palace embankment. So on the way to Peter and Paul Fortress, we're going to stop at the red columns. There would be a great view onto the Hermitage buildings. And across the river, a long gilded spire a little bit ahead of the bus on our left hand side, and brown walls. This is Peter and Paul Fortress, and this is the birthplace of St. Petersburg. Beautiful view on Peter and Paul Fortress on our left hand side. We're going to visit this yellow cathedral with a long gilded spire inside. St. Peter and Paul's Cathedral. That's where all emperors and empresses who ruled the country, the Russian Empire, from St. Petersburg, having St. Petersburg as its capital, starting with Peter the Great and finishing with Nicholas II, the last Romanov on the throne. They are all buried inside St. Peter and Paul's Cathedral. As you noticed, it is quite early. We're a little bit early. The walls of the fortress This is St. Peter and Paul's Cathedral, which was designed by Peter the Great himself. And that was his idea, that he didn't want to spend much money on the interior decoration. The cathedral is beautiful, but if you look around, you won't see semi-precious stone ornaments with columns and just painting. Peter the Great was the place of worship, and that was the place of military glory as well. The banners on the walls, these are all military trophies of Russia from the northern campaign. Remember the war between Russia and Sweden for these lands. Next to Peter the Great is where Catherine I is buried, right in the middle, in the front row. And next to Catherine I, the front row, the left tombstone, that's Elizabeth, their daughter. And in the second row, behind Peter the Great, and his niece. In the middle, his grandson.
Peter the Great, the first one. Catherine, the second one.
And then later, his own wife, Catherine II, Catherine the Great. The
third torso to the left. Let's go up. Some of those have double-headed rows of the pillars.
And green and white building with statues on top. This is the famous Winter Palace, the major building in the Hermitage Museum complex, which consists of 5 buildings. All of them are interconnected with hanging passages. And as I've mentioned before, all in all, the Hermitage Museum these days is 1,057 rooms, 117 staircases, and 3 million works of art. They once decided to count how much time you need to see everything in the museum. Well, if you spend 1 minute in front of each item, you will need 15 years to see everything, with 1 day off. That's Monday. With the highlights, tour the most beautiful staterooms of the Winter Palace, the highlights of the art collection, 2 paintings by Leonardo da Vinci, 24 paintings by Rembrandt, Spanish artists Velázquez, El Greco, Goya, Raphael, Michelangelo, all the famous names, all the highlights, and on top of that, the gold room.
Hermitage Museum. Rembrandt is always crowded, no matter what. And by the way, the museum is officially open now. So, this one is considered to be the last painting by Rembrandt.
even tell you how happy I am that it's cleared up, and I believe you are probably even more happy than I am. Well, that is the way Peter the Great planned it. The city on the banks of the river, lots of rivers and canals, the Venice of the North, that's how the city was called later after Peter the Great. But the boat trip, that's the way of looking at the city, how its founder, Peter the Great, planned it, who loved sailing, loved his boat, and that was basically the way he would enjoy the city himself. And right now, champagne is coming up.
Oh, I couldn't.
In a few moments we're going to sail under Nevsky Prospect. The bridge we're going to sail under is called the Green Bridge. We're going to sail past some of the places we've been to already on the bus, so you'll have an opportunity to compare these two different views onto St. Petersburg. Enjoy the boat ride, enjoy the architecture. Again, all these buildings in the historical city center, they are in the UNESCO list of the cultural heritage of the world. Not one building, all of these buildings, the complex of buildings. Here's the Peterhof Palace on our right-hand side, pink and white, and Nevsky Prospect, the main street we're sailing under right now. Finished by 2013, and the Bridge of Singers is ahead of us, quite wide as well. After we are through the bridge, try to look to your left, kind of a little bit back and to the left, and you'll see the glimpse of the Palace Square and the Alexander's Tower. Well, here we are preparing to make a turn into the shortest canal of 74 we've got here in St. Petersburg. Remember the Winter Canal? We drove along this river earlier this morning. The name is the Moika River, and in a few moments we'll get to the Neva. But before, we're going to sail in between the buildings of the Hermitage. So you can imagine we drove around the buildings of the Hermitage, we went through all of the buildings of the Hermitage, and we're going to sail in between those as well. The Winter Canal is not only the shortest one, it's the oldest canal in the city as well, with the oldest stone bridges in St. Petersburg dating back to the beginning of the 18th century. That's exactly when St. Petersburg was founded. After we are through the Winter Canal, you'll be absolutely free to stand up on the open deck, because we'll be in the Neva, where the bridges are tall enough and there is no danger of hitting the bridge with your head.
Well, right now on our left-hand side is the building of the new Hermitage. Then darker yellow color will be the old Hermitage and the yellow arch ahead of you. This is the hanging passage connecting the old Hermitage, the home of Leonardo da Vinci, with the Hermitage Theatre. In a few moments we'll be in the Neva, and the most magnificent view of St. Petersburg, especially in the weather like this, with sparkling water and sparkling gold, is going to be out there all for you. So prepare your cameras. After we pass under the arch, look up. That's part of the museum over there. After we pass under the bridge, get prepared for the view. And you'll be most welcome to stand up and take as many pictures as you like. Well, here we go. Try and enjoy your champagne and those beautiful sights. Now you can actually get a picture before in the morning when the sky was gray. By the way, very St. Petersburg look of the city. And after, when the sun is out and everything is cheerful and shiny. Into the narrower rivers and canals, the territory of the lower bridges. Say the regulation is back. No standing on the open deck. Well, one more turn under the bridge and we are getting into the Moika River. we sailed it. Partly the Moika is the most central and the most beautiful part of the central St. Petersburg. In a few moments we'll be sailing past the Michael's Castle and the Church of Stola, those quite important historical buildings of the city, which we drove past on the bus as well. This is the Michael's Castle. Remember where the son of Catherine the Great, Paul I, was murdered? After only 40 nights in there. No one wanted to live in this palace anymore after his death, so it was given to the engineers' school, and famous Russian writer Dostoevsky was one of the first students in the engineers' school here in the Michael's Castle. The narrowest canal on our right hand side now. The picture of this church from the water. There will be 3 chances of doing that. You should be pretty fast. One of these is right now, before we go under the bridge. The second opportunity is going to be in a few moments. Still on your left-hand side, surprisingly enough. Right before we go under the bridge, on your left, right now.
I need a crown.
And the best news, as soon as we leave the bridge, right now, be quick.
Sometimes it felt like that.
In 10 minutes after that, for everyone to get to the bus on their own pace, take as many pictures or as little pictures as you want, and we'll set the certain time as soon as we dock.
It's like wear so many dresses. But then they gave this, the camera.
Так, идем.
They will see the cockpit, they will see the ball, they will see the banquet hall, which is the